You ready? Okay.
Okay, so in an interview with Popular Science magazine, Dixon Despommier, he's a microbiologist at Columbia University, he asked, in an inconvenient truth, Al Gore urges everyone to plant trees. But where can we plant them if science suggests that more and more of the Earth's, or more and more of the world's forests will become farmlands to support our explosive population growth? And I was looking on the internet one day, just because I'm kind of a nerd that way. I ran across a webpage about vertical farming, and I didn't really know what it was, but I thought it was really interesting, so I looked into it more and more and found out a lot about it. So today I'm going to tell you guys a little more about where it started, what it's about, how it works compared to current agricultural practices. The beginning. So roughly 8 years ago, Despommier was asking his students to come up with different ideas on urban sustainability. And they came up with an idea of farming on commercial rooftops. And, well, that's roughly only 2% of an urban center that it could even feed. So he just said, well, that's not enough. So forget money, forget time, forget space. Just design a building that could hydrate 50,000 people a year. And the students, under his guidance, came to the idea of vertical farming. And well, going way back in time, starting the Neolithic Revolution, 10,000 BC, something like that. Man started building simple structures, the mud brick house, right, to protect us from, the environment around us, to keep us safe, keep us warm at night, that kind of thing. Thousands of years go by, and now we live in high-rise condos, urban centers, huge places like that fit thousands of people per building. New York City, right? That's basically the same idea, but with farming. And so basically, it's simply, vertical farming, take like a city block, right? Or 5 acres estimated, 30 stories high, 3 houses. I mean, that's basically vertical farming. Through the vertical farming in the high rise of farming, basically, and you can use hydroponics and the greenhouse effect as your main components to create basically a perfect atmosphere for the plants. In an article published in Scientific America in 2008, Despommier states that skeptics worry indoor crops will have to be genetically modified to thrive. He responds with, none of the crops have to be modified further for life indoors. In fact, they'll do better because we can match their growth characteristics with temperature, humidity conditions, and nutrition profiles. Basically, they can create a perfect homeostasis because, you're in a controlled environment, right? You're not outdoors. So I'm going to tell you a little about how it's done. Basically, one of the biggest issues people have is, well, how are you going to hydrate that many plants? Right? 30 stories, right? So basically, use the sewage. Recycle. So, you recycle. Basically, take the sewage, desludge it. That's the term they use. Basically, you're going to take it and filter it out. Get rid of all the sediment, the solids, that kind of thing. I'm using gray and black water, which, if you don't know what that is, that's basically like through sinks, the shower, septic tanks, sewer systems. That's gray and black water. So you're going to take all of that and just filter it through non-edible barrier plants and zebra mussels. That's one idea on how to filter that out. After you do that, you're going to have basically pure water coming from the sewer, so it's pretty efficient. And then not only are you reusing that, but in terms of hydrating the population, which 50,000 people, it's a lot of people. So the condensation just created from the plants themselves can be sufficient enough to hydrate the entire urban center, and it's only using 5% of the water needed for conventional agriculture to even hydrate the plants. That would be because they're going to be using hydroponic system. I don't know if you guys really know what that is. I do have one example. There's a tech company in El Paso, Texas. It's called Valsense. They basically, it's not a very big picture. I'll pass it around. If you can kind of see, it's basically a wheel, and they use what's the term they use for it? They use clear vertical panels, and they have the light and everything in it. It rotates around, and so you're basically giving the plant the perfect amount of light that you need to grow the plants in perfect nutrition. And as I said, it's 15 times more growth possible because it has a perfect homeostasis. It's only 5% of the water used in current agriculture, which is 15.8 trillion gallons of water in just the U.S. And the Earth's population, comparing to current agriculture, is 6.7 to 6.8 billion people. And by 2005, a current or conservative estimate would anticipate 3 billion increase in population, sometimes as much as 9.2 billion people 9.2 billion people in just major cities. And an estimated 1 trillion acres will be needed to grow food to supply for world's population. Another comparison, in 2007, the average farm was 450 acres. That's estimated in just the US alone, 930 million acres, which is almost 1 billion acres, or 1 million square miles, because an acre is mile by mile. And so worldwide, 40.5% of the earth is used for agriculture currently. And through all the different sources that I've read, 15 to 17% of cultivated land now is wasted or degraded because of poor management. And another statistic I found, speculation, so it's just an idea so far. 1 acre of indoor farming, that's 4 to 6 acres of outdoor agriculture or more. Strawberries are an example. That could be up to 30 acres equivalent. And so basically to summarize, vertical farming, it's a new type of high-rise farming for urban centers. I've told you where it started, basically how it works, and I've compared it some to current agricultural practices. I just hope I've broadened your mind a little bit, tell you a little bit about what it is.